The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Frightmares Podcast. All right, Gabby is dying. What an intro.
I don't know why this flavor of Crystal Light occasionally tries to choke me to death.
Should I start over or just keep it in?
Just leave it. It's
okay,
fine.
leave it in. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today, fighting for her life for episode 360 is my wife, Gabrielle Proctor.
Hey.
Hi. All right, wait till you're done.
Okay, I'm good.
Today, on another installment of Hauntuary Manor, we're discussing our international pick for the month, House or Hausu from 1977. A movie where a house drops acid, eats crayons, and decides logic is optional.
Nice. Yeah.
It's good stuff. I also am going to put this in the episode title. It's going to be House/Hausu, just because there is another movie from 1984, I believe.
I know.
That's all. I'm just explaining to people.
Oh, I thought you were telling me.
No. I'm just.
Like, I know.
I know most people are. If you're aware of Hausu, then. But I'm gonna just address it as Hausu because that's the original title. But yeah, there's a 1984 film, and there's 4 movies in that franchise, if you want to call it that, called House. So this is the Japanese one, right? Japanese?
Yes.
I also forgot to mention, I've picked movies from different decades. So every month we'll not only have a different category like essential, deep cut, international, wild card, and modern, but we have, like I said, I have different decades for each pick as well. Oh, and also the modern picks are going to be 2020 and above. I know technically modern would be like the 21st century, so 2000 and up, but we're doing modern like the last 5 years. So that's all the things I think I forgot to mention. I'm also wearing these really weird headphones right now because I forgot mine in my mom's car because I got back from Wisconsin over the weekend and I left them in there. And now I'm wearing these bright blue fucking just...
Those are my airplane headphones. Those are the ones I specifically keep so I can watch movies on airplanes.
Yep. So here we are. But anyways, let's see where this lands on the Nightmare Index. All right. Recently watched. I'm coming in hot with some, not even a hot take, I don't think, at this point, on what I've recently watched. But while I was gone over the weekend, did you happen to see or watch anything interesting?
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, here we go.
You're never going to believe the onslaught of films I watched while you were gone, and I was here with our child.
Let me guess.
What day did you leave?
Saturday.
The
last Saturday. I don't know, the
20th?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just going to start back here. Encanto. Luca, Ron's Gone Wrong, Sonic the Hedgehog, Wreck-It Ralph. Oh, and also Luca, and also Ron's Gone Wrong.
Ron's Gone Wrong. I don't like that title.
But however, so I watched a lot of kids movies. Ron's Gone Wrong is horror if you're a parent who is concerned about their kid getting too much screen time. But in a really nice, like, they're aware it's a problem and they're making commentary kind of way. But the idea of the robots in the movie, horrifying. I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my God, I would never. But also, as you know, I am doing my rewatch of Malcolm in the Middle. I'm on the last season because apparently Malcolm in the Middle is the one show I can burn through at lightning speed. In preparation for the 4-episode... and it's not a reboot. It's a, what do you call that?
When a show comes back?
For like 4 episodes.
I don't know.
What, revival? It's like a brief little 4-episode thing they're
revival.
doing.
I like that.
Like it's Life's Still Unfair, where they got most of the original cast back. So I've been getting prepped for that because I absolutely love that show.
Yeah. So that's what you did?
Yeah, I'm sure you've noticed I've been watching it as I cackle extremely loudly while watching it.
No, I don't hear that 5 or 7 times every hour at all. What do you mean?
Bryan Cranston's funny. I don't know what you want from me.
Less laughing? I don't know.
Absolutely not.
At least you're having a good time. So some stuff I've recently watched. I went to go visit my buddy, Michael Vyers. He's on the show a lot. He does the Shameless Pictures show as well. Went to see him in Wisconsin for the weekend. We watched a lot of stuff, but he's going to be on an episode very soon. So I'm going to save a couple of those things that we specifically watched together for that episode. Plus, I don't really want to talk about The Testament of Ann Lee. We just need to go watch that because that was a wild fucking movie. I will say that I did see it in 70 millimeter in one of the most gorgeous theaters, probably in America. Probably, I don't know. It's the most beautiful theater I've ever been in, the Oriental in downtown Milwaukee, I believe. And we also saw...
Yes, it was in downtown Milwaukee. I was not looking at your location.
At all?
Nope.
And we also watched No Other Choice as well, the new Park Chan-wook movie. But I will save those for Michael's episode, which is in like 2 weeks. You and I, though, although we didn't finish it, I had to finish it on the plane because it was a chaotic week even getting to Wisconsin. You and I watched The Hudsucker Proxy, which, oh my God, one of the wildest movies I've ever seen. Not a horror movie by any means, unless you consider... corporate greed. Like the real monster here is corporate greed.
For the kids.
For the kids. So I think we had about 30 minutes left that I finished on the plane. I'm not going to spoil it, but what a fucking ending that was. Oh my God. Never saw any of that coming.
Oh, that's the thing. I told you when I watched it, I had watched it myself.
Right.
Back, I think when you were in rehab, I watched it.
Probably.
And I was like, we have to watch this together. I'm like, there's no proper way to describe this movie. It has calls to other films, but I couldn't name one of those films. And I also can't describe what's happening in this movie. It is something you just have to watch and take the ride, and you will be very pleased you did so.
Yeah, and
it's so good. I just can't describe it. Much like the movie we're talking about today.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up Hudsucker Proxies, because much like Hausu, it's a movie I can't describe to you. I can give you the basic plot for sure, but even that's really not going to do you much. It's not going to prepare you. You basically said it. You told me that it had a 3.7 and Tim Robbins was in it, and I said that's all the information I need to watch it. So it was a very easy sell for something I've A, never heard of, and B, knew absolutely nothing about. So that was a really good one. Of course, now it's on fucking Tubi. Had to rent it.
Without fail.
Not mad that I rented it, but annoying.
Without fail every time.
So my review for that is the circle explanation might be the wildest reveal in cinematic history. You will not be prepared. And it's funny because, I'll tell you later. I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, but, no, the less you know about it, the better. Just go into it, know that it's a wholly unique film. While not feeling extremely foreign to your film history, most likely. Yeah,
that's fair. I did see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which has a shockingly higher score than 28, and it's still holding strong than 28 Years Later. Holding strong at a 4.0 out of 5, which is honestly bonkers. I didn't expect this trilogy or planned trilogy to hit as good as it is. It's just kind of crazy. I liked it. I thought it was good, visually pleasing. It went a lot of different ways than I was expecting, but I didn't really know what to expect. I was going into it like I thought it was going to be a prequel, weirdly enough. I don't know why, especially with the way 28 Years Later ended and how they set it up. But, it's a pretty much a direct sequel, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I was also in a terrible mood that night because I was going back and forth on Wisconsin because of, the whole health thing that's going on right now. And so maybe I was in the wrong headspace. I can tell you, though, it was aesthetically pleasing. What's his face? Ralph Fiennes, absolutely incredible. Jack O'Connell, amazing. They were great. And I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of cool imagery, but something was just missing. 28 Years Later for me, it was one of my favorites of last year. And I knew it was going to be hard to match that, at least for me. Apparently, it's like Smile and Smile 2. Everyone was like, yeah, Smile was okay or good, and then people love Smile 2. I feel like that's where I'm at with this one again. I really love 28 Years Later, and this one, I gave it a 4, but I guess I'm not, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
I'm sure we'll find out when you have me watch it inevitably.
Yes, yeah. Inevitably. So that was a good one. I also watched, let's see. Oh, yes. The Cult Movie Challenge Week 3. I have to bring that up because that's the thing I'm doing every week. This week was, and I'm technically a week behind, but just stay with me here. It was Vigilante Week, and each prompt that Michelle, the host, has for each week had a list, a letterbox list that you could click on to get movie ideas. And I saw I Spit on Your Grave there, and I said, okay, this is the time to watch it. I've been avoiding this movie for obvious reasons, and I owned it because I was like, I saw it somewhere and I bought it for real cheap, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch this at some point, and I did. Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with this movie. I knew the content that was in it. It is a rape revenge film, so I knew that part of the movie, the sexual assaults, was not going to be pleasant. So I was already expecting that, and I figured, hey, the revenge part probably going to be pretty awesome. It's 1972 or 73, probably going to be some good practical effects. It's going to be this whole woman in power moment. It was the most unsatisfying revenge story I have ever watched in my life. And like I told you, hopefully I'm using this phrase correctly, the ends did not justify the means whatsoever. They start the whole sexual assault thing about 24 minutes into the movie. And by the time the revenge starts taking place, we're about an hour and 10 minutes in to an hour and 40-minute movie.
Yep.
The revenge portion of the movie made me angrier than the sexual assault part of the movie, which is wild to me. That's crazy. Because the choices she was making and what was happening, and I was like, man, this should have been way more brutal than what it was. Apparently, also, everyone just forgot how to swim in this movie. There were 2 instances where people could have gotten away by swimming, and they're sitting there, one of them was sitting there waiting. I'm like, just swim away. I can see the shore. I don't know. This movie just made me violently angry. And again, not for the part that it should have, but I guess it's because I was expecting it. I'm not even going to recommend this one. Shocker. I'm already not a fan of sexual assault in movies. The only time I am quote unquote okay with it is if it is integral to the plot, and in a sense like this, it is. Although I still don't know why movies like this even have to exist. 1 star. I mean, never again. Selling that copy immediately. Don't need it. I'm never going to watch it again. It was an utter waste of time. I guess I did this to myself, so I only have me to blame, but I was kind of hoping that the revenge portion would heavily outweigh all of the atrocities that were before it, and it just made me so mad. So not going to recommend that one at all. I believe that's all I have for recently watched. Is there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I'm just looking forward to, the films we're going to be seeing. Hopefully next time I'm on the podcast, we can talk about Wuthering Heights.
Oh, good Lord. I'm sure everyone is just dying to hear our thoughts on that.
I'll have them. Actually, I'm probably going to rewatch Promising Young Woman and Saltburn.
All right, well, I will watch Promising Young Woman with you.
You're going to skip Saltburn.
It's just not, it's not my thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm like, this movie is either going to be, Austin's either going to like it or he's going to hate it. There's no in between.
And there's some full frontal of a person that I just never needed to see, and they're dancing. I got that one time. I'm good.
I've seen things in that movie that I can't unsee, and yet I'm still willing to watch it again.
Salt burned into your eyes.
That yes, exactly.
Anyways, let's roll on to the body count. Funny enough, you hear a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much verbatim.
So this is Hausu from 1977, released on September. No date, just September of that year in the U.S. It is not rated, but there is moderate sex and nudity, moderate violence and gore, no profanity, no alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and moderate frightening and intense scenes, coming in at 88 brisk minutes. Listed
I'm so proud of myself for knowing one movie's exact runtime, and it was this movie. Even when my sister's like, "How long is the movie?" I'm
88 minutes.
I think it's 80, and I was like, "Okay, so it is 88." I thought it was 88, but I was like, "There's no way I just know it down to the minute."
Yeah. Movie waste is absolutely zero time. Actually, well, we'll get into it. Yeah. Listed as a comedy horror, much like Deadstream, it is a comedy first and foremost with horror elements.
Accurate.
Please bear with me on the pronunciation of all of these people involved on the crew. So you have Nobuhiko Abayashi, who also directed School in the Crosshairs, which we were gonna watch until somebody fell asleep. I know, what's that like, right?
I was tired.
What's that like? Because I'm always... This is the one time where I was like, I'm ready, and you're like...
The one time a month where I happen to be sleepier than you, and every other night I'm like, wake up.
We did get about an hour or so in. There's 30 minutes left, and it's very entertaining, and I was enjoying it. I don't think it's as strong as Hausu, but it's still...
Nothing could be.
It's really hard to top this film, but it was enjoyable for what we saw, and that one's not a horror. It's more of a sci-fi fantasy. Written by Chiho Katsura, who also wrote Zoom In, Sex Apartments, Zoom Up, The Beaver Book Girl, and Orgasm, Mariko.
So porn?
Sure.
I'm just like porn?
Much like our director of The Nesting, who was exclusively working in porn. Apparently this guy was too. And then you have Chigumi Obayashi.
Chiho would be a girl's name, I think.
What?
I think
Chiho?
Yeah.
No. I saw the interview they were doing. And it was a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's I didn't get to watch it all because it's 45 minutes on the Criterion, but I got about 15, 20 minutes in, and they had the writer, and they had, I'm pretty sure Chigumi Obayashi is his daughter.
Obayashi,
I believe. So she's credited as a writer because she basically came up with 90% of the movie here. Composed by Asai Kobayashi, who also composed Shag from 1978. Then we have Miki Yoshino, who also composed Virgin Blues, 45 episodes of Usuri Yatsura, Ryoko's September Tea Party, and Peacock King.
Ah, classics.
I just threw all these. I just looked for the funniest quirky titles just to have something to fill in. Cinematography by Yoshitaka Sakamoto, who also did the cinematography for School in the Crosshairs, His Motorbike, Her Island, and Kamikaze Taxi.
It's my favorite go-to film when I'm feeling down,
It's
probably.
my favorite kind of taxi, one that just dive bombs. Edited by Nobuo Agawa, who also edited Nutcracker Fantasy, Bye Bye Jupiter, and Eve in a Summer Dress. Starring Kimiko Agikami as... Apparently she has a second name, O'Share. I never heard her get called that, but she's gorgeous. And she also plays O'Share's mother, too, which is strange. She was also in something called A Chaos of Flowers as Akiko Hatana. Then we have Miki Jinbo as Kung Fu.
My girl.
Who was also in Women Do Not Divorce as Kyoko Yamakawa. We've got Kumiko Aba as Fantasy. She was in 30 episodes of something called Secret Detective as Shoko Higurashi. And then this is a very jarring name because I thought it was Masterba, but it's Matsubara. So that last name looked like masturbate. And I guess her first name is like Ai? 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 So Ai Matsubara as Gary/Prof, who was also in School in the Crosshairs as Kendo Tournament Announcer. So she made a little cameo. Then we have Miko Saito as Mac, who was also in Delusional Detective as someone. She wasn't credited with who she was, but she was there. And then we have Eriko Tanaka as Melody. This was her only movie.
Well, I mean, after what happened to her.
It's true. Then we have, lastly, we have Masayo Miyako as Sweet, who was also in The Visitor in the Eye as tennis player. This had an estimated budget of NA, but a worldwide box office gross of $223.9 thousand. This was actually filmed in Toho Studios, Tokyo, Japan, where they make all of the, Godzilla monster movies. You can watch this kind of all over the place. The Criterion Channel, HBO Max, Plex, and Shout Factory TV. Movies that came out around the same time, we have Orca, the killer whale movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, The Hills Have Eyes, Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Pete's Dragon, which I did not realize was that old.
Yeah.
And Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
And I've seen...
one.
Yep.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
That'll do it.
What? IMDb summary: a schoolgirl and 6 of her classmates travel to her aunt's country home, which turns out to be haunted. Let's go to the autopsy. Overall thoughts, Gabby. Somehow compress these thoughts into a... I don't even know how to explain this movie.
I'm just going to start from where I bumped into this movie and go from there.
All right, let's go for it.
All right,
take me on this journey.
I've looked up horror movies on HBO Max before many times. And I'd seen this image of this Japanese girl on these, whose head's floating on these blue faces, and I see that it's called House, and I've seen it so many times. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's really cool looking visually, but whatever. And then one day, I was scrolling through Facebook, and it was the Criterion Closet segment with Bill Hader, and he pulls out this movie, and he's like, oh, yeah, Hausu, I love this movie, and then turns, and the cover art is what's on his shirt. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That must be something interesting if he just happens to be wearing a shirt that is the cover of that movie. And I looked up, I'm like, hey, this is that movie that I keep seeing with the girl with the floating head and the blue background. I'm like, well, it's got to be something interesting. And then I go visit you. I'm like, hey, can we watch this movie?
And here we are. I'm like,
I got no idea what it is. No, we have no context. We just sit down one night and watch it, and we're both like, what the fuck is happening?
It's a movie I've always seen. It's got a very, very memorable poster.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'd seen it. I just never got around to it. So,
and it was something I'd seen, but I was like, so many of the movies you see while you're looking through streaming stuff, it's like you see something that's a fun image, but am I going to watch it? I'm going to go watch The Conjuring for the 800th time. And so we watched it, and we're like, nothing could have prepared me for this film, much like Hudsucker Proxy. And everything about it is so creative and so stylistically interesting. Everything they're doing just keeps you engaged. And even if it's like jarring or wonky, it's all so charming that you just can't stop watching it. And you and I watched it, and then I immediately bought the Criterion. And then I made my friends watch it because that's pretty standard with me. If I think the movie's weird enough, everybody else will be seeing it. It's not optional. You're going to watch it now.
Don't I know it?
Like my sister and my father will be watching it this coming week because they will be. So.
Yeah, you get really weird with some movies.
I get attached.
Yeah, a little bit. It's
my
not a
new personality. That's why I suddenly have 3 House t-shirts, a little fortune cat, and some stickers.
You're welcome.
The Cat of Misfortune, my husband lovingly
pre-ordered the shit out of that right before it went out of stock.
There's this little horror boutique that makes these very interesting custom items.
Shout out to Mood Poison.
Yes, and and if you've ever seen one of those lucky cats with the rocking hand and like at like any Asian food restaurant,
or on some people's dashboards.
Also that. This is the cat from Hausu. It's the Cat of Misfortune. And that sits on my desk and makes eye contact with me all day. It's great. I love it.
That's strange.
Yeah,
does it tell you things?
Not that I've heard.
But because you're not listening.
Exactly. This is for the best. But this movie is so special. We got to the end of this movie and we're like, I cannot find one flaw. It's not that there aren't flaws in it, but I have no problem with anything that was weird about this movie.
Way to bury the lead on our fucking ratings.
Well, we'll talk,
I'm just kidding.
But we both were like, this was amazing, and I'm so glad we watched this. 0 regrets. Love it.
Yeah. That was also a really good job condensing your overall thoughts into the first 5 minutes.
You're welcome.
Just giving
I could keep going.
Just giving you a hard time.
We talked about Kung Fu.
Oh my God. Okay. So this, my overall thoughts are, this is by far one of the wildest cinematic experience you will ever have. Whatever you might be expecting, even from the brief IMDb description, throw it out the window because the story takes you on just the most insane ride with hypnotic visuals, special effects that will blow your mind for being 50 years old, and some of the most unhinged plot developments I've ever seen. That's the best I could do here with Hausu, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of the film is stuff's happening. Why? I don't know. It is, though, and it's happening with full confidence.
Well, when we get to it a little bit later, fortunately, I saw a lot of fun information in the first 20 minutes of that. I guess it almost like a documentary of like behind the scenes on the Criterion Blu-ray, where they talk to the director, the director's daughter, and the writer. So I have a few little fun tidbits. But I find the setup for this movie, and it's not even something I have a problem with enough to sway my rating, but the setup is a little strange because it's, summer vacation. We have Gorgeous, our main character. She's supposed to be going to Karuzawa with her dad, but then her dad brings home some
trash,
some tramp mystery lady,
very nice woman who looks like she might be stoned, but she's just staring, eyes glistening out into the distance a lot, while the wind specifically only blows on her hair at all times throughout the film.
I was going to say, she reminded me very much of Morticia Addams, but instead of constantly having perfect lighting on her eyes, her hair was just blowing
the whole
for
movie.
No reason.
Nobody else has the wind blow their hair like that. And anytime the shot's on her, her hair is blowing in the wind with her scarf. But why? Something fun, because I researched where exactly they were going, and it's an upscale mountain resort in Nagano Prefecture, Japan, known as a popular summer retreat from Tokyo's heat and winter sports destination, offering a mix of nature, shopping, and leisure activities like cycling, hiking, and skiing. Cycling, hiking, and skiing, and it became famous in the late 1800s as a summer escape for Westerners and remains a favorite getaway for wealthy Japanese, easily accessible by Shinkansen, the bullet train from Tokyo. Nice.
So it's pretty cool. So that's where she's supposed to go with her father until she finds out that this tramp is coming with them. Typical kind of, not stereotype, what am I thinking of? Trope of the, a parent is dead, and the parent that's not dead brings in a new person, and kids get jealous and upset.
To be fair to Gorgeous there, her dad just says, I will be bringing a companion, a guy or a girl. So she's never met this woman before in her life, and dude's just like, yeah, I'm bringing someone with us, and then she's not even in the room, and he goes, come on out here already, just like, get out here. Okay.
Right.
And she's going to be your new mom. Doesn't properly introduce them.
No.
Doesn't give them a chance to meet prior to this conversation. He is ready to marry this woman, and Gorgeous has never laid eyes on her till right now.
Oh, I'm totally on Gorgeous's side.
Oh yeah. Just like, your dad is handling this in the most wild manner possible.
It's heinous.
Yeah. Bro, way to just fumble. Whole thing, because the lady, in all regards, is perfectly nice, but you don't ever just go, well, she's going to be your new mom.
Yeah.
You can say, I'm going to be marrying her. I'd like her to join our family. But most kids are pretty protective over the mom they already had.
Yeah, especially since
her mom died.
Didn't he just get back too from somewhere as well?
Just appeared from Italy with with a new fiance.
Yeah, by the way, here we go. Maybe take me out to dinner and kind of, go over this, and then we meet her. Don't just drop some lady into my life out of fucking nowhere. Rude.
Yeah, they do that shit in The Parent Trap, and granted, how their parents are handling their parenting is a whole other issue.
That's a whole other story.
At least he has the, what do you think of her? Oh, I think she'll be a great sister.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
The greatest line in maybe cinematic history.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a big sister.
Yeah. She already gets a whiff of what's going on, but he's like, what do you think of her? They introduce each other. He does not go, I'm marrying her as a start.
Yeah.
He lets them meet first.
That's fair.
At least he had the consideration to actually get an introduction in before saying this is your new mom.
Yeah, that's... So both of them didn't handle the situation very well at all, especially because, in The Parent Trap, she's away at camp and just comes home to a lady. In this instance, it's kind of the opposite. The father comes home with someone else. Where did you meet this lady? In Italy?
Where was she hiding?
Yeah, so it's very strange. And she has 6 friends, and this is what I don't understand. They're supposed to go with their teacher, Mr. Togo, to his sister's inn for training camp, whatever that means.
Yep.
Why are teachers and students vacationing together in some? I don't know. I have no idea. That's just not something we do in America. I don't know if that's common in Asian countries. I don't know.
It feels very strange that the adult man is going with the group of girls, and then later on, even when they change where they're going, he's still basically chasing behind them because he had an incident that got him delayed. Like, is he chaperoning you or something? Because why is the dude chaperoning you? This is very odd.
Yeah, and I don't think they tell us what grade they're in, but I
and what
maybe,
he teaches?
Huh?
Or what he teaches? Because he looks like a random dude.
I thought he was like a coach or something.
Like a dune buggy he's driving around the whole movie.
That dune buggy was pretty sweet, though.
It was.
So both of those plans fall through because Gorgeous is like, I'm not going away with this lady. And the Mr. Togo, his sister, was pregnant and is about to give birth. So both of their plans fall to pieces. So Gorgeous is like, let's just go to the country and visit my aunt. And we're all going to go and have a fun time and totally not get eaten by a house.
Yeah. I like that there's like, oh, well, my sister's not opening her thing anymore. She didn't know till the day before.
Typically you kind of have an idea of when you will give birth.
Typically.
This is also 1977, so maybe that technology didn't. I don't know.
No, that one did. If they got ashtrays in the room, they can count 9 months.
Oh, geez.
But the way they she invites all of her friends absolutely trips me out because she's talking to them and she's like, oh, we could go to my, she's like, you guys want to come with me? And they're like, oh, to the resort? And she's like, no, I'm not going there anymore. I'm to my mom's hometown where my aunt lives that I haven't seen in like 10 years to go hang out with her. And they're like, oh yeah, that'd be amazing. And then it cuts to her going, so anyway, aunt, that's how I told them about your place. Can they stay here?
Well, it's already too late, Gorgeous. You invited them.
You've already invited them. Now we're like days away from this trip, and you have to get that letter to your aunt. Your aunt has to see it, respond, and get it back. Thank God you have a cat that could magic this mail to and from.
Magic this mail.
It did use its magic glitter eyes to get that mail there very quickly.
I want that cat, and I'm allergic, but it's fine. I would have that cat. That cat was
witch cat.
That cat was the main star.
Blanche.
Blanche. What a fucking name, too. Such a great name. So I don't necessarily know why the story had to start with two separate plans falling apart to get them to the aunt's house. It kind of feels like wasted time, but I mean, at the same time, it was enjoyable. I don't know.
I feel like it was kind of supposed to be, well, this is all spur of the moment. That's why it's all thrown together last minute. That's why nobody really knows what's going on with the aunt. And that's why the soon-to-be stepmom also ends up trailing behind her. It's just like all thrown together last minute. That's why it's not as well planned out.
Okay. So that's kind of your setup of how they get to the house. And in no way does this feel like a horror movie for the first, I don't know, 20 or so minutes. It just seems like, oh, this is going to be a fun comedy. I mean, it is a comedy, but you don't expect the horrific things that are going to happen later in the movie.
I mean, there are hijinks in the beginning of this. Like Mr. Togo trips, falls butt first in a bucket, and then they do this wacky, like, Benny Hill type.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah. And where he's like spinning around and then spinning back. And because he got stuck in the bucket. And that's why he didn't make it to the train station on time, because his butt was stuck in a bucket. And you're like, what? Because we're watching this. This is the first really goofy thing that's happened, because up to this point, it's been the silliest thing was like the backdrops for the film were just really random.
Right.
And the cat was a little bit weird, but then you get this and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, that was so cartoonish, but I mean, it completely fits in with what happens towards the end of the movie. And even when he's talking on the phone he calls someone and the bucket is still on his ass. I'm like, pull the bucket off. It can't be there. Like, how stuck can it be?
While he's standing next to a mini horse, his dune buggy, and a parrot. And you're like, what the fuck is the horse doing here? Where did you even get the horse? Oh, and one random white dude walks across the set.
That seems to be the theme in this director's movies, because
there can only be one.
There was one white guy playing the drums in School in the Crosshairs, and I was like, hey, it's the one white guy. All right.
It's our one token white guy.
One token white guy. So Yeah, so interesting setup. And then, of course, by the time you get to the house, that first shot of it's such a bizarre. I mean, this whole movie is filled with bizarre angles and wild choices for cinematography and editing and the effects. But I really like the first shot when they enter the house because it's kind of high up and it's like on the stairs and they walk in and you can kind of get a scope of a lot of the floor plan. I don't know. I really like that shot.
Oh, no, it's a good shot.
It's a really good shot. I feel like this was totally an experimental film because this director had only done commercial. This was his first movie ever made.
Yeah.
And it just felt like he was just going with it.
It feels very experimental and like in a really good way. And just to backtrack a little to when they're on that train.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget, while they're also doing these crazy shots, they are doing the wildest storytelling methods possible. Because Gorgeous is explaining to her friends. Also, let's not forget that the cat appeared to her before they got on this train. But the cat then also appeared on the train to go with them, but is also the aunt's cat.
Yeah. Don't ask questions. Just roll with it.
They're asking questions about her aunt. She explains that her aunt was engaged and her mom used to live with the aunt. And the aunt was engaged and then World War II happened and her fiance never came back from war. And then several years later, the aunt had to watch Gorgeous's mom get married.
Right.
And you can see like the look of sadness in her face that she never got to get married and she just lives with that heartbreak. And when her mom pops up on screen, because this is a black and white flashback.
Yeah, to the audience.
The rest of the girls, she has no photos or anything. Let's be very clear. They're just talking. Oh my God, your mom's so cute. Oh, he's really handsome. Like, can you see the flashback too?
Yeah, I wrote down, is this a fourth wall break? Because they're watching what the audience is seeing and reacting.
They're seeing the flashback.
Yeah, they're seeing the flashback like we are and reacting to it. Hilarious. And again, I don't know what's happening, but it it's just, it works so well for some reason.
Yeah, and they fourth wall break repeatedly throughout the film.
Well, there's that one fourth wall break where the aunt literally looks at the camera and smiles after she just disappears into the fucking fridge.
One, she does it multiple times.
Does she?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
there are multiple occasions where she makes eye contact with the camera.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, there's definitely some actual fourth wall breaking, which makes the story that Gorgeous is telling on the train kind of feel like, all right, I guess that was just a weird way to fourth wall break.
Oh yeah, but I love it though because that's hilarious. Because you're like, wait, what did she say? Can they see this?
Yeah, are they seeing this too?
Because it's so unusual to have anything like that happen. I know there's other films where similar stuff has happened that are more recent in history. But it's so unusual, and it really gives you this sense of you don't know what you're seeing that they're also seeing or not seeing. You don't know what you don't know what's real for them at all. You're not going to have any clue.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I like the aunt because there's kind of some themes that go with this movie, which the director was talking about because he is actually a survivor of the Hiroshima bombing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That happened. And a lot of his friends died because of that bombing. So for him, there's some themes of that's why he, interjected the World War II storyline in there with the, her never getting married. So it's like she's kind of just frozen in time emotionally and physically in this house after losing her fiance in this war. And it's hard to move on from that, much like it's hard for someone to move on from all of your friends just perishing.
Yeah.
But what I think is really cool is that the house almost becomes this manifestation of her inability to move on and feeding on people to survive.
Yep.
Which is really cool. And I don't know if he said this was the original draft, but he mentioned that that's kind of what happened. Like the aunt is dead. She's a ghost. She lives there. She becomes one with the house, and she is literally like she's part, like not part of the house, but she has become kind of one with the house and is feeding on just the kids.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's
100%.
that's really cool. So
it's
her
very obvious that she was not. It was unlikely that she was alive. Though just the way she was acting, like I haven't seen my aunt in 10 years, and okay, so she's in a wheelchair at the top of that hill. Who's taking care of her up there? Because how would she do that?
Yeah, it's all, and every time
house with no road there.
That's right. And I had a. Did they tell us exactly how the mom died?
No.
Because I'm wondering if for some reason she died at that house, because
I don't think so. I think it was just when she was
okay. I don't
younger.
know. I don't know. But anyways, but yeah, as soon as the girls get there, you know, she's in this wheelchair, and she's very happy that all the girls are there. She's like, oh, you have, what did she say? I wrote it down. Hold on one second. Fuck, I can't find it. She says something along the lines of, I'm so happy you're here. Like, you're giving me strength.
Yeah, well, they're like, oh, we'll help take care of you. And she's like, I'll be better now that you're here.
Yeah. So... Yeah. Oh, yeah. When she gets out of the wheelchair and questioned by them, she's like, you've given me strength. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Are you about to eat these kids or something? Are you some sort of vampire? What's going on?
She doesn't get out of the wheelchair till after Matt goes missing.
Well, yeah, I'm saying when Matt, sorry, my notes did say that when Matt goes missing and Fantasy finds her head, that's when she gets out of the wheelchair and like, oh, you've given me strength. Like, oh, so now that our friend is dead, you suddenly have strength. That's not weird. That's not weird at all.
She's dismissive of odd things happening in the house. And
super dismissive.
Yeah, they at one point, Mac, bless her, goes to put a watermelon in the well because apparently that is the natural refrigerator.
I have a story for you when you're done.
And yeah, when she goes to retrieve it, she just disappears. No, she goes on a run and she disappears, and then Fantasy goes to get that watemelon, and
it's her head.
Yeah.
Then it starts fucking floating around
and bites Fantasy on the ass. Yeah. Because she like pulls it up, looks at it. Fantasy's like, and the head's just kind of smiling at her. Goes Fantasy. And then it floats in the air, and then for some reason, Fantasy just like kind of falls over halfway, just enough for Mac's floating head to bite her ass.
Because why not?
Because why not? And then throw up blood, and then barrel roll backward into the well.
Yep.
And I just want to make a brief side note that all these girls have nicknames. As we've noted, they're all super literal. Gorgeous is gorgeous. Prof is the nerdy one. She's got the glasses, so that's how you know.
That's how you know she's nerdy.
Kung Fu does Kung Fu. Fantasy has got a big imagination, which doesn't really track because so far we've only seen her tell people what's happening, and it's just so wild. They're like, Fantasy and her hijinks.
Yeah, I think that's why she set up.
Which is, she set up for it. Melody plays music. Melody, by the way, has a very similar build to Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Mac is the fat friend who never stops eating. And we thought that, like, it's part of the trivia, I know, but we thought her name was Mac as in Big Mac.
As in Big Mac.
It's even worse. It's Mac as in stomach. And they do technically explain that in the movie. But it's just like, God damn, guys.
That was the original name that he had, was Stomach.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've changed it.
It's so mean.
It is a bit mean.
And realistically, this girl is still tiny.
She's just normal size person.
She's just closer to an average size, whereas the rest of the girls are closer to like a 0 or a 1 or a 2. She might be closer to like a 6 or an 8. She's still small.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking. And she's the fat one, and she's just shoveling food in the entire time and always talking about food. And you're like, Jesus, guys. But yeah, she doesn't make it. She's ahead. And then Fantasy goes and tells everybody. Everybody blows it off, says she's just imagining things.
They pull the
watermelon out of the water. And tell her to stop playing around. Mac is somewhere. And then the aunt just stands up and is like, well, I'm starting to feel better. And they're like, what?
From the watermelon or Mac going
and
missing?
And she's just like chowing down on that watermelon. And she has the eyeball come out of her mouth, right?
Yeah, has the eyeball and she's like, she's pointing it at one I can't remember.
Fantasy.
Yeah. And that happens a few times where she's just like eyeball. So is the house casting an illusion over Mac's head, making everybody think it's the watermelon and they're all just eating Mac's head? Maybe. Who knows?
I think it's the watermelon that they're eating, but I think that because it does later on.
You ever get eyeball in your watermelon?
Well, everybody's kind of just wandering off doing stuff, looking around the house, having baths, what have you. Fantasy, and I think a couple of the other girls are doing dishes. Mm-hmm. They say something to the aunt, who's kind of just dancing around. The aunt opens the refrigerator, twirls around, steps into the refrigerator, shuts the door, and you're like, what the fuck? What?
That's such a great shot, though, because...
It's so good.
Because it's from kind of, not the rafters.
It's a bird's eye view.
Yeah, it's not the rafters of the home, but it's somewhere where...
Oh, those are the rafters, yeah.
Okay, then it was the rafters. So obviously, they had to have most likely had two people for that shot, because I don't see any other way around doing that, because she disappears into the fridge and then comes right up next to the camera a few moments later. Unless
in the rafters,
looks at the camera and
with
smiles.
The cat. Yeah, she's like there with the cat, and then and then it cuts to her dancing on top of the rafters.
Yep.
And you're just like, what?
Most of the movie is spent going, I don't know what's going on, but I am 100% here for it.
I mean, you've got a girl getting turned into a doll at one point.
Yep.
And then she's later seen inside a clock. One girl's face shatters apart into flames. It's bonkers. The whole, like, to even try to describe it scene by scene is just too hard, because there's just so many chaotic things. There's a skeleton that's randomly in the house and
dancing. It'll cut to scenes of the aunt like eating a hand.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like nothing was off limits. Some of the techniques they used for those shots was really cool. I know you want to talk about those though.
Yeah, I've got some notes on those.
Yeah.
But specifically talking about all of the crazy moments in this movie, something fascinating that I found, not only from the small portion of the documentary or whatever you want to call it, the video piece that I watched on the Criterion release, his daughter is, I think that's why she's credited as a writer, because she came up with 90% of the ideas for this movie. The director he mentions that, adult minds are so boring because they can only think in a box of what is like reality.
Yeah, we're much more grounded in reality because our imaginations, still there.
There. It's just kids can come up with the craziest things. I mean, they literally had a show called Kids Say the Darndest Things. So someone actually came to him. I don't remember if it was from Toho or who it was, but came to him because they wanted a director that hadn't done a movie, first-time movie, to do something similar to Jaws in the sense of a big movie. Like, Jaws was huge. And apparently Steven Spielberg at the time was a pretty amateur director. So they came to him and asked him to write a script for, hopefully, in the hopes that it would do numbers like Jaws. And how they got from Jaws to House is kind of interesting because, like I said, adults think in a boring way. So Jaws would just, instead of a shark, it would just be a bear or another animal attacking someone. And he was talking with his daughter, and they came to the conclusion that, a house eating people would be is so much more terrifying and out of the blue, out of the ordinary than animals attacking. Like, that's normal. But a house eating people, that's not very normal. And the watermelon gag specifically came from when his daughter was visiting her grandfather at the time, they didn't have a refrigerator. So the only way to get things cold was to put it down in the well. So they actually did that with the watermelon when she was a child. And when she pulled it back up, she just, imagined it was a head coming after her. Throw it in the movie. Done. The piano scene. She played piano as a kid and got her fingers caught in the keys one time. And again, just imagination of the keys eating your hands. into the movie. There you go. So
Melody getting eaten by the piano is one of the peak moments of that film.
Yeah, what was the the pillow fight, right? So also at her grandfather's house in the country, she slept on futons and they would have to air them out outside. She didn't explain why, but she would air them out, but she would be carried.
They tend to be folded up for a while to
okay.
So they can get kind of stale.
So while she was in the country visiting her grandparents, they would air out the futons, and it was a heavy futon for her to carry as a kid, and she just was like, what, how scary would it be if this just started to eat me? Throw it into the movie with the mattresses, that whole scene where the mattresses are attacking everybody. So I find it so interesting that most of this movie comes from a child's imagination, and it has a total childlike wonderment feel to it, if that's what I'm trying to say. Even the glass scene where the glass shatters, Nobuhiko asked his daughter, what would be something that's scary? And she was just combing her hair one day and was like, my reflection attacking me would be pretty scary in the movie. Like, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
It's things you wouldn't really, as an adult find scary, but you're like, as a kid, this would be terrifying.
It's just not something that we would really ever think of either.
Exactly, which is why you spend the entire movie going, what's happening?
Yeah, it just has this, I'm just trying to, it's so hard to explain it. Just
ask a kid.
Yeah, ask a kid. It just has this complete level of surrealism. Is that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Surrealism to it, where nothing makes sense. It is all the stuff of nightmares, and nightmares that I've never personally seen before. I think genuinely, I don't think this is really going to be a hot take, but this is probably one of the most original movies I've ever seen in my life.
100%, and
easily.
Like even the characters, they're all one-note characters.
They're all archetypes.
Yeah, and kids will create very elaborate storylines.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know that I always believed how I played as a kid was like a singular experience. And now TikTok has shown me that apparently me and every other girl my age was putting on babushkas and raising our poor orphan children. Don't ask questions. Before we suddenly succumb to our fatal illnesses for our orphan children to grow up, who then we played. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we were all doing that. Mm-hmm. We'll come up with elaborate storylines, but the characters are always simple. And yeah, if you've got a character who fights, of course her name would be Kung Fu. And what does she do? She does Kung Fu. The end. That's who she is.
Great Kung Fu sequences in this movie.
Just amazing.
Incredible. Amazing
character. If that lamp hadn't got her, she was still fighting, even and in pieces.
Even in her underwear at one point. She does some high kick and her pants come off, and then she's just
the flaming logs attack her.
That's right, the flaming logs, and then she's just in underwear for the rest of her time there.
Which is kind of like a swimsuit bottom, though, because it's not really underwear.
It's kind of frilly.
But she catches her skirt, and you're like, but why didn't you put it back on after that?
Who knows?
And yeah, they're just like these really simple versions of these characters, and the focus is really just on these scenarios coming to life and happening. And at the certain point, the back half of the movie, or like the back portion of the movie, is just chaos. Just every wacky thing that could possibly be happening all at once.
Yeah, I mean, again, you'll never see anything that happens in this movie coming. Like I said, the first I'd say half of it is relatively normal. I say normal with
I'd say the first third, because if you break it into thirds, you're kind of
yeah, that's fair. But even in like the opening sequences when they're introducing everyone, there are just some jarring shots. Like I loved the constant wipe that they were doing when they were, so all 7 girls are sitting on this, not a bench, but it's like one of the, like a concrete thing for a planter, and every time someone else talks, it wipes to the person to the right, or like they'll do a wipe to the left. It was such an interesting, I thought, it took me a while to figure out what they were doing, but once I did, I was like, I really like that. It's a little jarring, but it's a fun little touch. And they're doing these weird overlays, like when the girls were hugging, I thought they were going to kiss, and it kind of vignettes around them with like branches and trees and shit. What are we doing in this movie? So even the beginning third is still wild from just a cinematography and editing point of view, and then the visuals start coming in, and it's just like I'm already in this. Plus, again, 88 minutes, wasting zero time.
Yeah, and then you have these weird moments in the film that cut in with like a comedic relief, which is funny to me because the whole movie's kind of silly. It's by no means scary. You could see why those things would be scary to them, but like getting eaten by a piano, yeah, that would be scary. It's very silly to watch.
Well, I think with all the exaggerated colors that they use too, it has this kind of almost playful feel.
Yeah.
That's why I said the house dropped acid and ate a box of crayons, because there's a lot of colors going on.
They straight up drew on the film.
Yeah.
And
they had to. It was 1977.
Yeah, and I've done that kind of technique before on photographs. It's fun to do. But it cuts in with Mr. Togo, because let's not forget he's there.
He's just looming in the background of this whole movie.
He's not in this. He's like not even in this damn movie. He is trying to get to them, and it'll randomly cut to him doing things like eating ramen and driving and trying to find this place. And we were both watching it this time. We're like, I still don't know what the fuck Mr. Togo's doing in this movie. And eventually, I kind of looked it up, and it's pointed out that it's Mr. Togo is kind of representative of the adults in the scenario, where it's like they can't really shield the kids from their world the world they're in that they don't understand,
the horrors of real life, or
that kind of thing. Yeah. And then Mr. Togo is the only man in the movie, really. I mean, her dad's in it briefly, but Mr. Togo is the only man that's in the movie.
I'd say would be considered kind of a main character. He's present throughout the runtime,
but he's not present for them.
No,
they're repeatedly talking about him showing up, and he's gonna help them when he gets there. He never fucking makes it there.
Yeah,
he's useless.
Yeah, he kind of is.
He's useless to these girls.
But he's trying his best, man.
But is he? Because he full on stops to eat ramen, is oblivious to the danger these girls are in, oblivious that they're dependent on him getting there to save them. Mm-hmm. And then to add to the comedy of the situation, this man doesn't even fucking make it there. He gets to the watermelon stand and is turned into a goddamn pile of bananas.
That was the most. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Just rounding out how completely useless he was to these girls.
Yeah. Can you remind me of the ending, because I was starting to trail off there at the end.
You did get very sleepy.
Yeah, I know.
So yes, unfortunately,
they all die, right?
Them girls don't make it. Gorgeous, after she goes upstairs and sees her aunt's wedding dress.
Oh yeah.
Which her aunt can only wear when she's at full strength, essentially.
Full power.
So when girls come, so she can be young again to wear her dress. After Gorgeous's face kind of breaks apart and turns into flames. Gorgeous ain't here anymore. She checked out. She is definitely at this point possessed by the aunt, and all the other girls are drowning in the house. The house is flooding. It has shut them up inside. Kung Fu hasn't made it. All the girls get taken out by this house. One by one, and then Gorgeous is in the wedding clothes. Kung Fu and Gorgeous duke it out briefly, which was amazing. But Gorgeous appears to Fantasy, and she holds Fantasy, but then it cuts to the next day. Fantasy did not make it. And it's the stepmom, Gorgeous's soon-to-be stepmom, driving with her wind in the hair in her wind. Yeah. The wind in her hair?
Wait.
Hairy wind.
Oh, that is a visual I did not need. There's my childlike imagination right there.
Whichever combination of those words makes sense. Go with that one. Pulling up to where the watermelon stand is, and sees the dune buggy with the bananas in it. And she's like, well, that's weird.
How strange.
And gets up to where the house is. And Gorgeous is in a full kimono, opening the doors, and then they sit together, and they talk for a minute, and she's like, oh, everybody else is still sleeping. They'll wake when they're hungry. Like, what? And they're just kind of staring at each other and smiling, and that stepmom again looks like she is stoned out of her mind. And then she kind of bursts into flames. And we zoom in on Blanche. The end.
The ending with Blanche. This is saying that's it's a sole survivor fantasy, seemingly possessed or traumatized into taking on the role of the aunt, becoming the new mother figure in the haunted house after all her friends were brutally consumed.
Is that what was supposed to be happening?
Is that what's going on?
I thought that was gorgeous. Was that not gorgeous?
You don't even know what happened.
Look, I'm still working it out.
All right.
Okay.
A little mixed up here, but it's fine. So at the end of the film, Fantasy is the last surviving schoolgirl and is holding on to the ghost of Gorgeous and calling her mother. This could be an ode to Gorgeous's hopefulness of having a mother figure, or it could be a call to return to infancy and full vulnerability after Fantasy witnessed all of the destruction. Okay, so it seems that Fantasy was the sole...
She was technically, but you don't see where Fantasy ended up or anything.
No.
So I don't think she made it.
Yeah, I don't think really anybody made it.
As far as I'm concerned, Fantasy did not make it, because the next day when the house is being opened up, she's nowhere to be seen. It's Gorgeous in a kimono.
Yeah, I'm wondering if... Oh... Is that what that is? Does the aunt have a name? Because Gorgeous is also called O'Share and O'Share's mother. Yeah,
because the Gorgeous also plays her mom in like the
in the picture?
I think so. In the flashback, I think.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, the ending very strange, but mostly no one makes it, and that's a bleak ending. You know, I mean that's a pretty bleak ending for all of these young innocent women to get eaten by a house, and that's pretty much it. But there are themes of not being able to move past trauma, stuff like that. So there's a lot of good themes going on here if you pick up on them. But you kind of have to let the movie sit with you and pick it apart, because if you're trying to find themes throughout, it's going to be very tough because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much is happening in this movie. I feel like I could talk about this for another hour, but in the pursuit of not having 2-hour podcasts anymore, I think that's about all I have.
It's fine. You can talk about it more next Sunday when you're together with everybody who just watched it.
I don't know if any of these are. These might be somewhere in the trivia. But anyways, so. I think that's it. Is there anything else you did want to mention that we didn't touch on other than the cat just being an absolute star? She is the main character. I assume it's a she.
I think we covered as much as you possibly could on a film of that complexity.
I'm surprised we were able to even fill an hour, because it's so hard to describe this movie. But if you're listening at this point, you haven't watched it, it really doesn't matter. We haven't spoiled much for you, because nothing will top actually seeing all of the stuff that 100%. We've talked about on a screen. So I recommend, obviously you can stream it, but if you like physical media and you like collecting, go grab the Criterion release. It is definitely worth the money you will spend on it, and it is one of my prized possessions that you bought for us.
I was going to say, you mean my prized possession? It's mine?
I'm saying like a prized possession in the collection.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, with that being said, let's move on to the final cut. Taglines here. Only one, and I don't really get it. House is calling to you. Come back home and marry me. Okay.
Ah, yes.
Got it.
Sure.
Got it. Trivia. According to director Nobuhiko Abayashi, this is the first Japanese film to use video effects, which he applied in a scene to make one of the girls dissolve underwater through low-fidelity video and a simple chroma key effect. None of the 7 young actresses who portray the group of friends that visit the house were trained film actresses. The young ladies were models who had worked with the director before in advertisements or commercials. The script was, partly inspired by, 12-year-old daughter. There we go. Yeah, Chigumi. So she is actually credited as a writer. She told him of a fear she had that the mirror she used would eat her. And that's just one example of the many that I told you. So the film was commissioned by Toho Studio in reaction to the success of, foreign horror films like Jaws, and was designed to be a domestic reflection of the successful Western films of the genre. I don't think it was that successful in terms of money, but it was very successful in terms of ratings. And in the decade after the film's release, Obayashi had thought about making a sequel. He ultimately decided against it, thinking that a film like House should be a one-time event.
Accurate, and thank you for understanding.
Couldn't have said it better. Accurate, and thank you for that. So, there are no goofs that I could find that were interesting. This has a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb. For our purposes, on the Nightmare Index, that would be a 3.6 out of 5. It also boasts a 4.0 on Letterboxd, which, if you're on Letterboxd, you know that is 4 or higher is just an absolute nuts rating to have. 90% on the tomato meter and a 78% audience score. I already know your rating for this movie, but tell everyone what you gave this.
It's 5 stars. It's on my top 4.
It's a 5-star. I mean, there's no question about it, and I am not at all shocked that this is a Frightmare certified slap. So, with that being said, this has a Nightmare Index of a 4.4, which I don't think is going to be topped.
No.
It's going to be really hard to top a 4.4 because right behind that, we have Deadstream and The Nesting at a 3.63. So this is a full point higher almost than both of those movies. Similar movies according to Letterboxd, we have Uzumaki, Beetlejuice.
That tracks.
The Grudge 2004, Midsommar, and The Grudge 2 2006.
Midsommar is a wild throw-in.
Similar movies according to IMDb, we have Onibaba, Audition, Tetsuo the Iron Man, Pulse, and Suspiria. Those make a lot more sense.
I had to promise my sister this was nothing like Audition.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah,
Audition
she's like, I don't want to watch anything like that again. And I'm like, no, this is not that. You're good.
That's a woman in power movie. Don't watch I Spit on Your Grave. Watch Audition.
Jesus.
All right, let's do some funny reviews here. I have extras because you stole most of mine last time, and that was just rude.
I got 4.
All right. Why don't you go first? Because I want to see if you stole any of mine.
Okay, 3.5 stars from Jaba. I'm naming my firstborn child Kung Fu.
Yep, stole one. Son of a bitch. That's a good one, though.
It is. We'll be renaming our child.
So, 1 star from Tylot Lantern. So many transitions and effects. It felt like my first PowerPoint presentation. This guy clearly doesn't get it, but it's fine.
But also hilarious and accurate.
Yeah.
5 stars from Lily. Going to need about 3 to 5 business days to process what I just watched.
5 stars from Amaya. This is what sleepovers feel like when you are 12.
True. 5 stars from Evasive. Boy sleepovers. Haha, let's drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew and play Call of Duty for 4 hours. Girl sleepovers.
5 stars from Karsten. My death scene is just an allergic reaction to the cat. That's me and you.
Right. 4.5 stars from Lucy. Finally showed this to my dad, and about 5 minutes in, he hits me with a, "This is odd." Well, yes, my dude. Why do you think we're watching it?
Yes, my dude.
That's why I said that is exactly the experience I expect to have with my father.
Oh my God. 4 stars from Maria. How high should you be to make something like this, and can I have some? And then this one, I don't know if this is creepy or funny, but 4 stars from Mike Ginn. If 7 Japanese high school girls came to visit me, I wouldn't eat them, but I guess that's why I'm not the titular house.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, that tracks with the review, but I'm like, what would you do with them? It's kind of creepy. Anyways, what a weird way to end. Way to go, Austin. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher. I need to take out Blue Sky. I've been saying that, and we're not on Blue Sky anymore. Threads and YouTube at Frightmares Podcast. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. You are...
Watson LMP 90.
Booyah! If you'd like to expand your movie podcast listening, check out the Shameless Picture Show, the Dead-Eyed Millennial Film Club, and 1 Week Rental as well. Next episode, technically the bonus episode, Derek and I will be doing We Are Still Here from 2015 as our wild card pick, and it is streaming on Shudder, Tubi, AMC Plus, and Plex. Wild cards are specifically going to have a rating from about a 2.4 to a 2.9. That's the best thing I could come up with for a wild card, and this has a 2.9, but it does have Barbara Crampton. So, until then, stay tuned and
Stay spooky.